Hey everybody, and welcome back to Tenza Motorsports. We're going to be doing the bushings in the rear end of my race car today, and you're probably thinking, if you've been watching all of my videos, wasn't this back in the car in your last video? Yes, it was. I'm recording the video you saw last week right after this. Just timing and trying to get some things, some sponsored products put on the vehicle in order of when I got products. So today we're going to be doing some BMW bushings, and then we are also doing some ECS tuning ones. These are just the differential bushings. All of these are polyurethane, so we're going to be opening up the BMW parts. I'll show off the ECS tuning ones. The BMW parts are new. They just recently got these, so I'm going to be doing the entire rear end with the bushings that I got supplied from them, except for, I believe, the lower knuckle. They did not have those in stock yet. I'm going to talk to them about making a kit, and that way if you're doing your entire rear end, you just buy a kit. Because what's really difficult is there's so many bushings back here, it's kind of hard to figure out which ones to buy, because there's so many, and you don't want to, buy doubles or something like that on accident. We'll go over all the bushings here in just a moment. Before we do, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like if you enjoy this type of content. Also make sure to check us out on Instagram, Tenza_Motorsports, where we do giveaways. I've got a wheel, the face of a BMW wheel that we're gonna be giving away. And as always, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you aren't already. So the rear end of these cars, so you'd think the back of the car where it's not turning, you'd think that there's less bushings back here, but there's actually more. The front of these cars are super simple. You take the control arm off. Oftentimes they come with new bushings. Oftentimes they're already pre-pressed. Pull the control arm off, pop the new control arm on, and you're done. This is a much bigger job, which is why until recently I hadn't had it done. Polyurethane's used for a lot of things. There is a little bit of flex. It's not quite solid. It's kind of like in between. I do have a discount code for BMW. If you use this code right here, you can get a discount off your next BMW order. They've been fantastic to us. I've been using loads of their products. And like I said, in the future, we're going to be doing the other bushing that's not in my kit that I've got right now, and the lower camber control arm. All right, so here's my ECS tuning ones. I've had these forever because I thought I was into this project like a long time ago, and I never did. Honestly, these are essentially the exact same things, polyurethane, new inserts. Let's go and open up the BMW ones now. So these, I believe, are the subframe mount. Yep, got 4 of them here. I think these look absolutely fantastic. Bunch of new hardware here. And the components again. New sleeves. Wow, those are really heavy. So right off the bat, I'm feeling pretty confident about it. They look, let's pull one of them out. I'm not strong enough to squeeze them at all, but there is just a little bit of give in these compared to solid ones. I don't know where the give's at. I'm assuming the car pushing all that horsepower will flex them more than I can by hand. Again, another set of them. Same color and everything. New inners. I'm not sure which ones these are for, but it looks like there's going to be a pair of them. Man, I might have to look up the numbers. I think that's upper outer, and then upper inner, and then toe, and then mount. There's a ton of bushings on the back of this car, and they're very confusing. All right, so this is the bushing press that I got. This is an Amazon kit. I've heard a lot of really good things about it, so I'm hoping that today goes fairly smoothly with it. You can take the old bushings and like run a Sawzall into the middle and cut them down and pound them out. If this ends up working out and I'm able to just press them out, or maybe even add heat and press them out, this I think is worth the 40 to 60 bucks that these cost. If you go like real brand name, like if you're buying like a Snap-on or a Matco or something like that, yeah, these are going to be fairly expensive. I'm assuming this kit's going to be like $400 to $600. But if we can get the rear end of my race car done and the one of my wife's race car done for the price of this, like let's say that doing those two jobs ruin this kit, I think it's worth you know, the 20 or 30 bucks a car that this would end up adding up to. I don't think that doing this is going to ruin it, but I did read a few quality issues on these. But I saw a couple other YouTube channels using them, and we're going to see if we can't get ours done today. All right, well, I hope all of you are watching this all the way through before you set out to do this project, because we are learning together. As I go along, I learn, and hopefully as you're watching, you learn as well. The removal setup that I've got to get the subframe mount out. Now it's got to go out the bottom, which means that if you put this on there, look at that. You see what happens right there? Now they make special tools for this and blah, 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 blah. You don't need to get a special tool. I'll show you what I just did. It is loose right now. It's not completely out, but it's loose. All I did was take this little square piece of stuff right here, and I stuck it right there so that it was getting the lip and then not touching, because that's actually, that inner lip right there is actually the bushing itself. And your upper plate needs to basically match the bushing. Mine's a little bit too big right now, so I'm about to take it off. These ones here in the front are actually slightly too small around. These holes here that go to the subframe, the bolting for the subframe, they're actually slightly too small around for the bolt, the big release bolt that comes in this kit. So I had to go to the store and pick up a 1/2-inch bolt. It is 7 inches long. The big one that comes with the kit will work in the back, but this one here, it needs a little bit smaller of a bolt. Now, 1/2 inch just barely doesn't fit. You can see some shavings down there. What I had to do was take a drill bit that just barely didn't fit down in this hole, and I just ran it back up and back through like really quick. It only took a second, and now this bolt fits in there just fine. All right, here is an update of what's going on. Lots of really old, destroyed bushings. As you can see here, this is a trailing arm bushing. The one that sits out on it's the other side. It's over here. The kit that I've got, the bushing press kit that I've got, is really good for this size and up. But the cups, where the cup is that size, well, when you start getting into some of these smaller ones, I am fighting them quite a bit. So I'm going to link a different kit than the one that I purchased, but it should be very similar. I had to go and borrow a few cups from my boss from work, and now we are getting some of the smaller ones out. I want to just go over the one on the end of this control arm here. This one here is difficult because, you know, instead of having a lot of surface area to press on, so you can see how wide that distance is. This one here was a lot narrower. So you can see how thin that is. That's the one that just came out of this. So you just got to get creative. I use a socket here, and look at that. Boom, 1-inch socket, fit that perfect, and I was able to use that to press it. And then, like I said, I'm using some smaller cups from my boss's kit. This is a big job, but don't be scared. If you've got your rear subframe out, it normally means that you're doing a fairly big project to begin with. So something like your rear end reinforcements, the subframe reinforcements. If you can do that, you can do these. It's a pain in the butt, but it's almost always time, and don't lose where your hardware goes. So as long as you're keeping everything together and you're not forgetting how things go back together, it's really not that much else to it. Here they are, and I've already got the rings put onto them. So they go in between the frame and the bushing. Even though these are super stiff, the lip of this, especially back there, those ones, and the bottom side of this can actually cut into your bushings. And so what this does is it shields between the bushing and the subframe. This one here, the only one of this set that does not need to have those metal rings. The reason for that is that this sits here. This has a lot more surface area. It's not going to be cutting into the bushing. If you look here, there's notches. I don't know if they're showing up on camera. There's a notch there, and then about 180, there's another notch. Those notches will coincide roughly with these pieces here. Those sit up a little bit higher, so you just kind of want to match those up as best as you can. They'll go in there like that. Now from here, there's a couple different ring sizes. These thinner rings go onto the ones that are flat, the one that has a single step down. The rings that's a little bit wider go into this one that has a deeper recess. All right, and then when it comes to these two here, well, actually, let's grab one of each. You got one that steps, yeah, it's got a parallel surface down here, so it's got kind of a double step, and this one has just a single step on it. Single ones go in the back, these go in the front. The reason for that is the rear washer looks like this, and then the washer in the front is actually this brace, and that fits in there perfectly. So this more complicated, deeper one is the front to bottom. And then smaller hole is here in the front. The bigger one of these go into the back. This is not for the faint of heart. My goodness, this was quite the project. Majority of this project is removing the old ones. Putting the new ones in, I was able to just run like, you know, put the top and the bottom in, and then take a mallet and run your cylinder through. And then I got it to about like right there, and then I ran a nut and a bolt, and then just kind of cinched it down. That's what I did on basically all of these. It was super easy to install them. Another thing that was big was, as you can see here, it's all put back together. That was another big project to tear it down and then put it back together. I did damage a bolt, so I've got just a placeholder here. That is not the right bolt. But yes, here it is, full kit. Really excited about road testing this later on. It'll probably be a couple months from now. Discount code right here. If you are interested in purchasing this for yourself, get a discount on it using this code. Comments or questions down in the comment section below. I love the way this looks. It's fantastic. I really hope that everything holds up like it's supposed to. And yeah, we're going to get this put back in the car. And thanks for watching. We'll see everybody in the next video.
Bam!